There's no outs and no runners on, it looks like, but good evening, everybody. We are here for the sectional finals of Williamstown versus Clearview. We had a little bit of a delay of start, if you can see on the screen. It is raining just a little bit in Williamstown, New Jersey, some high winds as well, so a little bit of a late start. They actually got an earlier start on the field to try and avoid the rain coming in later on. We are currently in the bottom of the second inning. Clearview is up 1-0 over the Williamstown Braves. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Gary Erdely. And Gary, it's a big day today. Once again, the sectional finals for Group 4. Williamstown has the advantage. They won this year over Clearview 2-0, but Clearview coming out hot in the top of the first inning, getting that one run.
Which is huge because Williamstown, a top-tier program in the state of New Jersey, number 7 in the NJ.com polls, out to a little bit of a rocky start. The first inning was all Clearview, and now keeping things going, Pioneers. Up 1-0, they like the lower scoring game. Heavy defensive reliant team. Pitching has been good all year long. They could keep that going. Maybe that one run can prove to be good, even better early.
And Clearview, not necessarily a team that scores all that much. But with that being said, how did they get here? Round 1, they beat Toms River North 2-0. In the quarterfinals, they beat Egg Harbor 4-3. And in the semifinals, they beat Lenape 5-0. So, although not a big scoring team throughout the year, really rely on their pitching to get them through games. Throughout the postseason, it has been the exact opposite, able to put up some runs. And that'll serve well against Williamstown, who is a high-scoring team. Once again, 1-0 the score at Williamstown High School. And on the other side, Williamstown first round beat Vineland 8-5 in the quarterfinals. They beat Rancocas Valley 3-1 in the semifinals. They beat Jackson Memorial 4-2. Williamstown first in the division and Clearview third, as that one is in there for strike 2.
And yeah, you talked about how high scoring and how explosive Williamstown can really be. Clearview got them right where they want them. Weather conditions also play a factor. You can't really get too much to go your way, but defensively, Clearview starting off really well, and we expect that to be a big part of this game. The Pioneers needing to get the pitching going. It seems like both pitchers on both sides are really settled in.
And Derek Shillingsford up to bat. 2 strikes, the count. The pitch swung on, popped up to center field, and making the catch, and that will end the inning. Clearview still up 1-0 in the region finals for Group 4. You're watching on BFA Sports. Williamstown versus Clearview. Clearview up 1-0. Back at Williamstown High School as Clearview holds a 1-0 lead in the top of the third inning. A big game here today as Williamstown having their numbers this year on Clearview, winning against them in the regular season, both games. The sectional finals today for Group 4. Clearview starting out in the top of the first inning with a single RBI, being able to get that one and only run on the board for either team. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Gary Erdely. High winds in Williamstown, New Jersey, along with some rain. Looks like they want to keep the game going, as they did start a little bit early. 1 ball, no strikes, and the 1-0 pitch.
It looks like that might be a little bit of an issue here early for both pitchers. Zerby right there likes to go a little off speed, likes to go with breaking balls, and maybe a little bit of the subpar weather conditions put him in some tough jams.
And the first out of the inning as Greg Zerby is one of their aces. The senior getting the start today. Was able to talk with him a little bit before the game. He will be going to Elizabethtown College, the Division III commitment. And he wants to finish out this year, his senior year, with a bang. Of course, there more comes after this in the brackets. But for Group 4, they could win it all in this conference against Clearview, as that one is outside for ball 1.
Could be huge for Zerby, like you mentioned. A senior coming in, this really has become his year, a big part of the program, and some big chances to do big things for a top-tier program in the state of New Jersey.
Counts even, 1 ball and 1 strike. As Fowler is due up for Clearview. Fowler did have the RBI single back in the first inning, is batting in 3 in the batting order.
That was something they needed to do for Clearview. Get the top of the lineup going. They changed from the last game they played against Lenape. Fowler was actually near the bottom of the lineup, put himself now at the top after a 2-for-2 performance against Lenape. They need to get the top going, get some early runs.
Swing and a miss, and he struck him out, and that is going to end the inning. So Zerby giving up that 1 run in the top of the first inning. He has settled down completely and looks to get some offense from his team on the other side. You're watching the sectional finals. Williamstown versus Clearview, headed to the bottom of the third inning. Clearview is up 1-0. You're watching on BFA Sports. starts for the sectional finals Group 4, Williamstown versus Clearview, as Clearview holds a 1-0 lead. And we're in the bottom of the third inning. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Gary Erdely. And we talked about coming into this game that Williamstown is definitely a team that likes to score a lot of runs, beating Clearview early in the year, as that one is lined down the third base line, and Fair, going around first, is going to head to second, going to try for two. The throw, not in time, offline, and will stay at second base. So a lead-off double for the Braves, much needed, as they were in a bit of an offensive rut.
A very much-needed shot there for Williamstown. Need to get something going, need to get some offense. Down 1-0. Talked about how explosive they can be. It only takes a couple shots to get it. They do get a very nice shot that just kind of dropped in over in left field, just hung on the line. Now you got a runner in scoring position, chance to tie the game up. Huge opportunity for the Braves.
Joe Roccabaldo, who is the designated hitter today for the Braves, hitting in the 9 holes, so always a good thing to see when your 9-hole hitter is getting on base. And now due up is Bobby Donato, the leadoff hitter for the Braves for this evening's game. And on the mound is Derek Borner for the Clearview Pioneers. Now, Borner not necessarily their ace all season long, as if this game were to be delayed today and canceled, Clearview would actually have their number 1 pitcher on the mound tomorrow, but the game does remain, so Borner getting the start and doing pretty well so far in 3 innings. Swung on, grounded to third, the throw across the diamond, and tried for the pickoff over there at second. Not in time, but they will get the 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
He talked about just the pitching for Clearview. Sure, they don't get their ace on the mound, which could have been tomorrow, but now Borner doing a very good job. Scoreless through two and a third now, doing a good job and making sure not many base runners get on. First time we've really seen him in any trouble, and we're still very early, so gotta like what you see from not really your number 1 pitcher.
And Borner, the senior, 5'10", 190, coming out today in a win-or-go-home situation. A lot of seniors on both squads. And Caden Doolin is due up with a runner in scoring position and just 1 out. And the starting lineup for the Braves is Donatino, who just batted, Caden Doolin, Chris Montone, Ryan Akey, Matt McIntyre, Greg Zerby, as that one is popped up. In right field, coming in on it and making the catch for the 2nd out. So a leadoff double given up by Borner, but settling in, able to get 2 outs, and is 1 out away from getting out of the jam.
That's all you could really ask for as a pitcher. Get a leadoff base hit, leadoff double, leadoff triple, doesn't really matter. If your defense can come out behind you, make some big plays. They do there with the little pop fly. Got the grounder to third in time. 2 outs. Now you can settle in, really relax as a pitcher, and not have to worry about the runner in scoring position.
Chris Montone due up for the Braves. Once again, a runner at second. A nice curve for strike 1 thrown by Borner. And the Braves right now, as I said before, they did win earlier this year against Clearview. 8-3 in the first game and 8-2 in the second game, but it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
And yeah, momentum absolutely is a thing when you play a team a couple times. And 0-2 is Clearview against Williamstown this year, but they're also hot. They keep going. Williamstown used to racking up a couple wins, going on winning streaks. The Pioneers get a little bit more momentum each win they gain, and now this one would definitely be the biggest one all year.
The 1-1 pitch on the outside for ball 2.
Some very nice movement on the pitch, a little bit outside. Wasn't a terrible spot on the pitch, was a good placement by Borner. Just couldn't get it to sneak in a little bit.
2-1 the count. 2 outs with a runner in scoring position. And going to third on that wild pitch is Rockabado, who led off the inning with a lead-off double down the right field line. So now a situation, if Borner were to throw another pitch offline, a little bit dangerous. You have a runner at third, could come home.
If you're Borner, that really kind of killed a little bit of confidence there. Put a runner now on third, prime scoring position. The tying run 90 feet away. Really good chance here for Williamstown. Drives home in, but you still have 2 outs.
In there for ball, and it looks like they may intentionally walk Montone. An interesting solution, as there was only 3 balls and 1 strike. But now due up is Ryan Akey, the 4-hole hitter for the Braves this evening. Now, of course, going back and forth with lineups just a little bit, it seems to be the same players in the lineups, but shifting spots depending on who's been hot throughout the postseason. Ryan Akey has been in that 4 spot all year long, as that one's on the inside corner for strike 1.
Very good pitch there, my Burno. But you talk about Akey, 4 for 8 in the postseason, 1 for 3 in the last contest against Jackson Memorial. Had an RBI single, can do that here, can really deal a whole lot of damage, gets him into the gap.
Fouled back. As Borner, the one thing right now, his pitch count is going up a little bit. Once again, a chilly day for baseball that can definitely be affecting the batters and the pitchers. About 60 degrees in Williamstown, New Jersey, rain and winds. Just a check over at first.
If you're Burner here, you don't really have to worry too much. Got 2 outs. Just need something in the infield. Get out of the inning. Even a pop fly. You're in a very good situation here as a pitcher.
And struggling a little bit on his location as Burner. We talked about it before as well, Gary, and it's a situation where Clearview not necessarily doesn't score a lot of runs throughout the regular season, but in the postseason they have. They rely on their pitching, but the Braves right now attempting to try and tie up this game.
You could go out, play your game in a situation where you're up 1 early. Go out, play how you played all year long, focus on the pitching. It's been pretty good all game long. I know we're early for Burner, but we've seen some very good stuff. This inning is the first time we've seen him deal with a little bit of trouble, and just don't want to see him go down too bad.
The 3-1 pitch, grounded foul down the third base line. So right now, Akey making Borner working out his pitch count. The 3-2 count, the runners will be off on this pitch with 2 outs. The sectional finals for Group 4, it's all on the line tonight as the 3-2 pitch swung on, popped up to left field. And making the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. So Borner gets in a little bit of a jam, but is able to get out of it quickly with the help of his outfield. And we're headed to the top of the 4th inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning. Clearview up 1-0. You're watching BFA Sports. We're back for the sectional finals. Williamstown versus Clearview. Clearview holds a 1-0 lead as that pitch is in there for strike one by Zerby. Clearview getting that lead in the top of the first inning on an RBI single and no offense since. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Gary Erdely. And Gary, we talked about before how these teams are very different. Clearview has stellar pitching, doesn't give up a lot of runs, and on the other side, Williamstown is really able to hit the ball and cross the plate well. Are you a little bit surprised on the minimal scoring in this game so far?
Not really. It seems just like Clearview is playing up to more their caliber on how they play the game, and Williamstown just hasn't been able to find the bats and find the answers so far on the other side. And we talked about the pitching for Clearview, not getting the chance to go. Number one, Boner's played very well. He pitched very well in the last inning, even though he's in a little bit of a jam.
And Costa is due up for the Clearview Pioneers. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Costa, the cleanup batter for the Clearview Pioneers in today's contest. As the 1-2 pitch swung on and hit to right field. And it looks like that ball is going to go foul. So staying alive is Julian Costa. Julian Costa, one of the better hitters for this Pioneers team all year long. The most consistent at the cleanup spot.
And Costa, a guy you really need to break things even more. You don't have many powerful hitters. He comes in, can do his thing, 2 home runs, 31 RBIs, tops of the team in those categories. You need him to come in, get some offense going, especially if the pitching has been good. We know that. You need to get the offense rolling even more.
The pitch is in there for ball 2. And Julian Costa leads the team in hits with 28 and also leads the team in RBIs with 31. A pretty good year for Julian Costa as he hits that one out to right center field. Going back on it and making the catch are the Braves. So Costa getting a little bit of power, but will be sent back to the dugout with 1 out.
And you needed something there. You want to get more leadoff base runners, even if it's with Costa, your cleanup guy. That's a guy who you want to get some offense with. You bring up the beef for your lineup, and offensively it just really hasn't been there. Costa, 2 for 9 in the postseason. You don't really have a whole lot of guys doing a whole lot of great things. So if you can get someone going, it has to happen. And top of the 4th, you do have a 1-0 lead, but they can go down way harder than it is to get one. It's even harder to keep it.
And in high school, even in a level like this in today's matchup, it is 7 innings. So have to get things done a little bit faster. And the other batter that has been really consistent as well for the Pioneers this year is Cole Fowler, who leads in home runs.
He's been fantastic in the postseason, 6 of 9. Today hasn't been a great day. Did have a really good shot in the first, but you need to get some type of offense going. A 1-0 ball game, top of the 4th. You'd like it if you're Clearview. You'd like to get even more. Here's your chance.
Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Charles.
And in a way, the 1-0 lead kind of has to be a little bit more favoring Williamstown because of how explosive they can be all year, Kayla, and how quickly they can get runs. They're not really sweating a 1-0 deficit.
The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for the 2nd out, and Zerby, although giving up that 1 run in the top of the 1st inning, has really settled in and strikes out Anthony Charles down swinging.
We talked about how good Zerby can be and has those strikeout pitches right there, shows it, gets Charles going down swinging, put 2 outs on the board, and now you kind of just settle in.
Jared McKinney due up, the senior, stands at 5'11" and 190 pounds for Clearview. With 2 outs, already down in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Right now, McKinney, if you're the Clearview Pioneers, as Gary mentioned before, you know the Braves on the other side can come back with a lot of runs. You need to get some insurance runs for Borner. That ball is grounded to second. The throw to first. And that's going to go off the glove of the first baseman. Running to second is McKinney, and he's going to get there sliding. That will be an E3 on the Braves, as just a simple routine ground ball play to end the inning wasn't able to happen. And that's something when you do your research throughout these teams that you realize that they struggle with in the infield. Defensively, they've had problems all year long with errors in the infield in big-time games. And, Gary, it happened right there.
And that's another situation where something just can't happen. 2 outs, easy chance to get out of the inning. A slow roller in the infield should be a very easy play, and it just can't happen. You lose it a little bit at first, and it's just one of those mistakes that now you put a runner in scoring position. It's tough to happen, and in a 1-0 ball game, every base runner matters. In the top of the 4th, you got to get out when you can.
Lyle is due up for the Pioneers. The pitch in the dirt. So Zerby right now, the one thing when you look up the scouting reports on these teams is Zerby struggles a lot when his pitch count goes up, and that pitch count throughout the year has gone up due to a little bit of poor defensive play in the infield. And happening in this round in such a big game can be a little bit of a problem as we're in the top of the 4th inning.
And you also really like to go to Zerby, and if he can go long, you want him to. And in a 1-0 ball game, you want him in these close situations. That pitch count rises, it's tough.
The umpire liking the outside corner today, as he calls that one for strike 1. Of course, all umpires have different strike zones. As Corey Lyle, the sophomore, 5'11", 170. In a big moment right now, the 2-1 pitch, dribbler to short. The throw is not going to make a throw, but the throw to third, not in time. As right there in that moment, the Braves really didn't have anything to do. Caden Duel on the shortstop thought about the throw to first, didn't pick it up. A slow dribbler out to short. And just a good piece of hitting by Lyle.
Very good piece of hitting by Lyle. Just get it. Another one of those situations where it just hangs in the infield, makes tough plays for your guys over on the opposite side of the field, your third baseman, your shortstop. It's tough to make those plays, but those are ones you have to do. Again, another situation, 2 outs, a chance to get out of the inning, can't make the play, and now you're not really doing your pitcher any favors.
And Luca Marinucci due up. Pioneers with a little bit of a 2-out rally as man on third reaching first with an error, and then Lilo getting on first with an infield hit. So runners at the corners, third and first with 2 outs.
Now if you're Marinucci, you got to run around third. Beautiful chance to extend the lead. You need to. His team has struggled offensively in the Pioneers, and in a really explosive team in Williamstown, they can get 2 very quickly.
That ball inside. And it looks like the umpire maybe thought about a conversation with Zerby, as that one was a little bit close up high to Marinucci. Just making sure everything's okay in a high-intensity game. If you're just tuning in with us, it is the sectional finals for Group 4. As that ball is swung on and fouled down the first base line.
And we talked about how explosive Williamstown can be all year long. You need to drive in runs in very crucial situations. You don't know when you're going to get a runner on third again in a game where there hasn't really been many hits from either side. Top of the 4th, midway point, very good chance to really start breaking things open.
Pitch outside and away. And right now in a situation where Zerby has to be careful, a wild pitch scores a run and allows the Pioneers to go up 2-0 as a conversation will be had on the mound. High stakes ball game. As Bobby DiDonato, the catcher, just having a conversation with Zerby, wanting to talk things over a little bit.
And you need to. You need to calm down Zerby, because it really isn't his fault he's in this spot. It's some fielding errors and some just not heads-up plays in the infield that got him in a really tough jam.
Pitch is outside again. So Zerby Looks like the pressure is getting to him just a little bit. Struggling with the location, which is not really something we've seen all year. Once again, the Braves ace on the mound today. The 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Excuse me, that was 1-2, so that'll be strike 3. Gone down swinging for the Pioneers is Marinucci. A perfect situation where he could score some runs, but Zerby throwing the heat and able to get out of the jam. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're watching the sectional finals Group 4 on BFA Sports. Clearview up 1-0. The sectional finals, Group 4 on BFA Sports, as that ball is high for ball 1. Clearview with a 1-0 lead. Got that run in the first inning on an RBI single, and there hasn't been much offense since. Both pitchers kind of settling in the bottom of the 4th inning. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Gary Erdely. And Gary, we're going to talk about it again because if people are just tuning in with us, Derek Borner, who isn't necessarily Clearview's ace, has been wheeling and dealing on the mound and even getting out of sticky situations. As that one is caught in center field by Anthony Charles, and that'll be the first out of the inning.
And we go back to Borner on the mound. Yeah, you look at him all year long, typically in more of a number 2 guy in the starting pitching rotation, but today playing like he could be a number 1 anywhere. Huge stage for him, and he's made the most of it. Last inning, have runners in scoring position, 2 outs, was able to get it out really all by himself. A great inning by Borner. And when he gets in the jams, he's been able to get out, throwing some very nice pitches. There's another one right there on the outside. Very, very good start to the day for Borner.
With 1 out, that ball is popped up once again to Charles in center field. And he makes 2 easy grabs for 2 outs. And right now, Borner just getting a lot of help from his defense, and that's something we didn't see on the other side of the Braves, and that has really been Williamstown's biggest struggle all year long. Just a little bit of messy play on the infield and the outfield, and for Clearview, their defense is doing them well today.
And if you're Williamstown, you can get away with a couple of them because of how well you've hit the ball all year long, but today it's just not been there. Clearview kind of looking like the matchup for the Braves, well, the unperfect matchup, you could say. They just have that pitching and that defense that could stop you as a very hot-hitting team.
2 balls, no strikes to Derek Shillingsford.
That's another thing. We talked about how explosive Williamstown has been all year. Really, in the postseason, they haven't been all that great. In the last matchup, had a couple of offers, and you can't have that happen against a team who's so strong defensively and so strong in the pitching department. They have good bullpen. They have good starting pitchers. You have guys that could go the distance, Borner being one of them. They'll put you in some tough spots.
The pitch, the curve in there for strike 1. A nice comeback pitch by Werner after being down on the count 3-0. Shillingsford taking all the way on the green light. And that's something Osborner has done really well throughout the evening so far, getting down on the counts but able to come back with some nice breaking balls. That one's going to drop for ball 4. So the first base runner of the inning for the Braves in the bottom of the 4th inning. They're down 1-0, but if you watch this Braves team all year long, you know the type of runs that they can put up. Although it hasn't been done as much in the postseason, they have that firepower in the bats.
Like we saw in the last inning, just needs someone to get on. Need to start somewhere. Clearview couldn't take advantage of it, but they were in a really good spot.
That is caught at shortstop, and that is going to end the inning. So once again, in Clearview, not only Burner having a phenomenal outing so far, the Pioneers getting a lot of help from their defense, and that will do it for the bottom of the 4th inning. You're watching sectional finals, Williamstown versus Clearview. Clearview up 1-0, headed to the top of the 5th inning. You're watching on BFA Sports. Sectional finals, Williamstown versus Clearview. Clearview up 1-0, and Greg Zerby, the senior, the Elizabethtown College commit, has settled in so far on the evening as that ball is grounded to third. That ball is going to stay fair. Headed around first, thought about going to second, but is going to put on the brakes. And as we were just talking about Zerby, we also have to highlight that hit by Flax.
And you go back to Zerby, and you're absolutely right, Kayla. He has settled in. He has thrown some really good pitches, attacking batters. He's done a very good job. The score kind of tells that 1-0. However, it's not 1-0 in favor of Zerby's side in Williamstown, and there's not much he could do. The hitting offensively, it hasn't been there to start today. And the fielding, we talked, it's been a struggle all year for Williamstown, and today it's starting with that as well. He's pitched well, but he hasn't had any help.
Joseph Levinson, the leadoff batter for the Pioneers this evening. The left fielder takes one for strike 1.
And it's also been a big praise to Clearview. They found their matchup. They found where they have to exploit. Just get shots in the infield. They'll get after it. They've done a very good job base running, getting on base, and even in spots where they shouldn't go down all that easy. Should go down easy. They don't go down all too easy.
And the pitch is grounded, foul. So Flax will have to go back. And it's interesting to mention about Greg Zerby as well, a guy who is their ace and has been all year long. He's also gotten a lot of run support throughout this season. We know what the Braves numbers they can put up, scoring 7 to 8 runs throughout their seasonal games in the regular season, and now in a situation where he hasn't been pitching bad, to say the least, but his offense isn't helping him out at all.
And it's just 1 or 2 little base hits by Clearview. That's all they need to get going.
Swung on and missed. A nice pitch by Zerby to get Levinson down swinging. 1 out in the top of the 5th inning.
And Zerby, once again, continuing with that, with his performance today. He's pitched well. The first inning, struggled early, had a hit by pitch to start off the inning and ended up scoring a run. Besides that, he's been on his game. He's found his spots. He's pitched well. However, there's only so much he can do when he gets little ground balls.
That ball is popped up to right field and will be caught for the 2nd out. As McEvoy didn't even get a chance to introduce him. The first pitch swung on to right, and that'll be 2 outs. And I want to talk a little bit about the head coaches on both sides. Head coach Jim Slade for the Williamstown Braves has been their head coach for a few years now. And for the Clearview Pioneers, it's Derek Reagan. His first year with the Pioneers. And 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. And a steal, the throw over to second into the outfield, and going to stay over at second is Flax, as it looks like he got a little bit of dirt picked up onto his face, didn't see the ball go into the outfield. As he's going to take a moment to brush it off.
And another situation where, do you make that throw? It doesn't hurt to throw it down, but if you're going to, you have to at least make sure a tag could be applied, and they couldn't. It rolls into the outfield, and they're lucky a little bit more damage isn't done. 2 outs, they've done damage with runners in scoring position here. Another big chance for Clearview to try and get more run support, which they desperately need as well.
Cole Flowers swing and a miss. Fowler, their best hitter on the year, we've talked about him numerous times, has really been consistent, especially throughout the end of the regular season and in the postseason. Struggled a little bit early on, but when it counted, he made do. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, grounded to second. The throw in time to end the inning. So a leadoff single won't do any damage. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 runner left. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. Clearview up 1-0. You're watching on BFA Sports. And we're back for the sectional finals, Group 4, Williamstown versus Clearview. Williamstown down 1-0. It's an interesting topic to bring up because both of these teams are in the same division. And Williamstown is in first place in the Royal Division, and Clearview is in third. Clearview 16-6 on the year, Williamstown at 21-3 overall, as the pitch is a little low for ball 1. And you talk about these ball clubs, and you have to talk about the fact that Williamstown beat this team 2 times already during the regular season, 8-2 and 8-3. And as well, Clearview is the underdog coming into this game. They're listed at 3. Williamstown is listed at number 1. Williamstown, not necessarily expected, of course, because it is the postseason, anything can happen. But Clearview coming in as underdogs, and they're wearing that hat very well.
And yeah, you talked about that underdog mentality. Clearview playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They have to. Williamstown not only top in the conference, but also a top-tier program in all of New Jersey high school baseball. This is a team that everyone kind of looks at across the state to be taken down.
And Roccobato grounds to first and taken in as he slides to first. A little bit of a dangerous play trying to beat Julian Costa to the bag, but 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And that's kind of more of it. talked about how Williamstown is so explosive, get things to go their way offensively. They're a fun team to watch today. They haven't had the bats going, and you could say maybe they're struggling at the plate, or maybe Clearview is just playing how they typically play. Very defensive, low scoring, pitch good, and get ground balls, get easy plays to get outs, and that seems how things have been going in favor of the Pioneers.
Bobby DiDonato squares up to bunt on the first pitch and will take it in as a strike. Bobby DiDonato, not the best day to lead off, as the curve is up high. We're going to go back to the head coaches for these teams. The Clearview Pioneers, Derek Reagan, his first year with the ball club as the head coach. And this would be his first time, of course, his first appearance in the sectional finals for Group 4, but his first time as a head coach winning with the Pioneers. So already an underdog team, already a team that's lost to Williamstown before, doesn't necessarily even have their ace on the mound, a rookie coach, a lot of things take into factor with a chance to possibly be sectional finals champions.
Kind of sets things up pretty well. A new head coach, putting a team in a really good spot against a team they know very well and can match up pretty well against. Pitching has been there all year long. Today it continues. Clearview's done a great job.
Swung on and missed as the high fastball inside gets DiDonato down swinging. DiDonato wants that pitch back as he's frustrated, headed back to the dugout. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And Boner, again, a really good pitch. Nice little fastball, a little high. Good job to get DiDonato going up swinging, and that's what you want from your pitcher. Attack batters, he does it there. Great pitch. He continues to impress.
And due up is Caden Doolin, who takes the first pitch inside for strike 1. And we got to talk about the confidence in Derek Borner. I'm sure he's heard that he might not be the ace on the mound tonight. The game might possibly go into tomorrow, but he looks like the Pioneers' ace here today.
He's looking fantastic, and another situation where we talk about this pitching rotation for Clearview. They've been on all year long, and Boner being a part of that. A sub-2 ERA, you could get that out of your guy, 160. Great job on the year. Julian Costa, another guy who could pitch at times. He's very good. They have a lot in the pitching department, and Boner coming in today doing a great job, even if he's looked at as a number 2.
Yeah, 1 pitch fouled back, and Boner a senior, so this will be his last season with the Pioneers. I'm sure wants to go ahead and play some college ball. As we already know, Greg Zerby on the other side, committed to Elizabethtown. The 0-1 pitch, grounded right back to the mound. The throw over to first in time, and Boner absolutely feeling it through 5 full innings. Just 2 innings left. Williamstown trying to get something going offensively, and Clearview trying to add to their 1-0 lead. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning. The sectional finals for Group 4 on BFA Sports. The sectional finals on BFA Sports. Clearview with a 1-0 lead, and thanks to their 3-hole hitter, Cole Fowler, able to knock one in the top of the 1st inning. No offense since for either team, more of a pitcher's duel. out here this evening as that ball is swung on and missed for strike one.
Talked about Fowler and that early RBI single. It was something that needed to happen. Needed to get the top of the lineup going early and get some runs in. Only able to get one, and as a team, you want to get more. We know Clearview, not the best offensive squad by any means, but today it's not looking like it's going to matter a whole lot, but you need to get things going, and haven't seen anything.
And Julian Costa is down on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Julian Costa, once again, a guy who's the hits leader and RBI leader for the Clearview Pioneers, has struggled a little bit in the postseason, not really able to get going, but had a phenomenal regular season for Clearview. The pitch swung on, hit out to left field, and caught by Shillingsford.
And you mentioned 2 for 9 coming into today's contest, and hasn't been able to get a whole lot going his way. They need to see something. They need to see Acosta get going, because they're a guy they look to all year long. It can't just be this one run, and if it is, it's not going to be a fun end of the game for the Pioneers.
Anthony Charles due up for Clearview. It's the Pioneers, once again, their head coach, Derek Reagan, first year with the ball club, so it would be his first win at this level for sectional finals Group 4. The Braves, the #1 team in their division, in the Royal Division all year long. The Clearview sitting at 3.
Zerby, some excellent pitches at this at-bat. That one breaks on the outside corner. He likes to go outside, and the pitches have been there.
That pitch is popped up on the third base side, and it's going to be out of play into the bleachers. A big crowd for both teams.
Nobody wanted to go after it.
And a big crowd for both teams is people on the bleachers all along the fences trying to support both sides. Clearview and Williamstown only about 10 minutes away from each other, so not a long commute for either side. The 0-2 pitch swung on, grounded to first, picked up easily and in time for the second out.
And that's what you need more of. Need to see more of little tiny plays that are coming out and making them. You have to make them. And we saw this continue. Little play unassisted, easy grab, easy little tap on the back. It has to happen. And we didn't see that in the last inning for Williamstown because it got in a little bit of tough predicaments. Had 2 runners on in scoring position, but still, nice play had to be made though.
Kyle Bridges making the out at first. Due up is McKinney. Jared McKinney, the senior, 5'11". A lot of seniors on both squads. It's going to be an interesting year on trying to maybe recruit more freshmen to fill in on both sides, but the seniors with a bright future from Clearview and Williamstown, if they choose to play at the next level. The 0-1 pitch swung out to right center field, and coming in and making the catch is Joe Roccabato. So that will end the inning, a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 5th for Greg Zerby. And Zerby is settling in, just needs some offense from his team. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning in the sectional finals, Williamstown versus Clearview. You're watching on BFA Sports. The sectional finals on BFA Sports. Clearview still holding that 1-0 lead that they were able to get in the top of the first inning. Not much offense since, as the pitch is outside to Montone. Chris Montone due up, the third hole hitter for the Williamstown Braves. That pitch is outside for ball 2.
And that's something we talked about with Boner. He has gone down in counts. He's been able to fight out of them, though. You don't want to see that happen, especially in the late stages.
Curve in there for strike 1. And although Burner has been down for multiple of these batters, somehow able to come back. But you're absolutely right, Gary. In a situation where you know Williamstown can come in and kind of add on some runs, you don't want to start getting down on batters, especially if you start to get runners on base.
And he throws some scary pitches a little bit, gets on the outside, and as a coach, you go, I don't know, close calls. He's been able to get him to go and get batters swinging at him. Did right there as well. Montone chased one out of the zone, but gets a little scary.
Boner delivers up high for ball 2. So an even count. Adam McEvoy just trying to say, calm down. Just play your game as the count is evened up. Up high again. So just missing the spot right now is Derek Borner.
He's been favoring the fastball high. He's got people to go after it, but Montone, a little bit more patient, won't really chase on the high fastball.
The 3-2 pitch, swung on, hit to left field. Coming in on it is Levinson, and makes the catch in shallow left. So, looked like it might have been a little bit out further than it was. Shallow left field, Levinson making the easy grab for out number 1.
And Montone liked it off the bat. It was a good swing, very nice cut. Just couldn't carry as much as he wanted, and then the easy play and left to make. If you're Boner, you look at that, successful at bat, you work again to a full count, and your defense helps you out a little bit. Don't want to get in more of them.
Ryan Akey swings at the first pitch for strike 1, and we talk about this Williamstown team and how they score a lot of runs throughout the regular season. And the postseason, not as much, but that was their game all season long. Do you think, Gary, to be smart to do a little bit of small ball here to try and get some runners on? Now, that's not their game whatsoever, but somehow, some way, you got to try and put some runs on the board.
And it wouldn't hurt. However, you're right. Isn't how they play, and I wouldn't expect them to change how things go.
The 0-2 pitch swung on the short. The throw to first, in time for out number 2. And the defense for the Pioneers has been almost perfect throughout 6 innings, has gotten a lot of help from the outfield, and sometimes even those routine ground balls, if you bobble those, that could be the tying runner, or that could be the way to win the game. And right now the Pioneers not doing that and really just making those routine plays look super easy.
And we've seen on the opposite side the same exact plays. Williamstown just not able to make the most of, not able to get out of easy situations. A couple innings ago, they had 2 outs on the board, no runners on, easy chance to get out of the inning, and they couldn't. Had 2 errors, had 2 big chances to put runners on. Pioneers have been able to get out quickly.
Ryan McIntyre, the backhand at short, the throw across the diamond in time, and a beautiful throw over at short by Cole Fowler, backhanding the play. And we're headed to the last inning of regulation, you could say the top of the 7th inning. Will Clearview try and add some runs on the board? They're up 1-0 in the sectional finals. You're watching on BFA Sports. The sectional finals on BFA Sports. Clearview holds a 1-0 lead, trying to add on to that in their half of the 7th inning. I'm Kayla Santiago along Gary Erdely. And Gary, we talked about it before, just how this Williamstown team just doesn't look like themselves, used to scoring a lot of runs. But they can thank the infield, the outfield, and the pitcher, Derek Barner of the Clearview Pioneers.
Yeah, and it's a struggle for Williamstown because defensively they haven't been atrocious. Only the one run on the board. Clearview hasn't had a lot of their shots to go either, but the one run proving to be the most crucial base hit of the day from Fowler. But for Williamstown, need to get that explosiveness going. Still have an inning to work with. Get out early here. You can make things work in the bottom half. Try and walk things off.
And Greg Zerby, who gave up that RBI single to Cole Fowler, as the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. The high breaking ball gets the first batter out in the top of the 7th inning.
Beautiful pitch by Zerby. Again, high in the zone, gets the batter to chase after. You get batters down swinging. Huge confidence boost as a pitcher. It makes you smile a little bit. Zerby, another one up high. He settled in after a bad first inning. Ever since then, he's been fantastic on his game. Needs the help offensively and from the infield a little bit. Make the easy plays, get out of the innings, and then on the opposite side, take the bats, get a lot going.
Zerby definitely needs a lot of help from his offense, as it's a very much reachable game. Only one run if Clearview is unable to score in their half of the 7th. As that ball is straight down the middle for strike one. No balls, one strike. The 0-1 pitch in the same spot for strike two.
Now Zerby picking up the pace. He has done a very good job with a faster pace on the mound. 0-2, beautiful chance for him.
That ball is hit foul as a pinch hitter now in for the Clearview Pioneers. Leon Garcia, the senior, standing in at 6'3", 215 pounds, trying to create some more offense and base runners for Clearview.
We have seen him pinch hit before. He's been a pretty good hitter all year long.
And back-to-back strikeouts for Zerby. Two guys gone down swinging to get the first 2 outs of the top of the 7th inning.
Yeah, he was a good pinch hitter all year long, Leon Garcia. Went 0 for 2 against Lenape, but Egg Harbor Township 1 for 1. They like putting him in situations like this, and Zerby, another good at-bat, back-to-back strikeouts. He's been fantastic.
Michael Flax squaring up to bunt for the first pitch, and it's a little bit away. A little bit surprised on the decision by head coach Derek Reagan to send Flax up to bunt. Maybe that was just the first pitch, but no runners on and 2 outs. Now it looks like he might take a swing at it, and he will, as he lines it bloop single into center field, and he'll have a 2-out single in the top of the 7th inning.
And a huge at-bat there from Flax. Sure, just a little base hit with 2 outs. How much does it really mean? It might not mean anything, but you get the bats going, bring the top of the lineup back up, top of the 7th, 1-0 ball game. 2 outs, you've worked in situations like this before. Big chance for the Pioneers to get some runs going. They desperately need it. That 1 run is not enough when you're going up against Williamstown. So explosive. Just haven't seen it yet today, but it very well could be coming.
And Joseph Levinson due up, the leadoff hitter for the Pioneers this evening. And now the Pioneers this has been their comfort spot with 2 outs, the 2 outs rally as a quick swing, grounder to third, the thrower to first in time. So Levinson getting a little bit aggressive on that first pitch and doesn't do him necessarily well. Will the Williamstown Braves walk it off, or will the Clearview Pioneers get their first sectional finals Group 4 under head coach Derek Reagan? Make sure you stay tuned with us. Williamstown versus Clearview. Clearview leads 1-0 on BFA Sports. Sectional finals, Group 4, the last chance for the Williamstown Braves to get something going offensively as the first pitch straight down the middle for strike one by Burner, who has been absolutely wheeling and dealing all night long. Greg Zerby at the plate. He takes that one for strike two.
And when Burner goes ahead and counts, he's dangerous. 0-2 now on the opposite side to Zerby. He can get things going.
The 0-2 pitch swung on, hit to left field, but foul. And we were talking about it a little bit before the break. This game has only been an hour and 23 minutes. So, of course, a pitching duel with it only being 1-0. But both pitchers on both sides, Gary, are just speeding it up. There's not really any breaks, and they're just ready to go. That ball is hit foul once again. So Zerby trying to stay alive down in the count 0-2.
And it continues with this at-bat. Very aggressive play styles from both. Zerby now aggressive at the plate, staying alive. Went down 0-2, then 2 foul balls. Burner ready immediately with the pitches.
Burner delivers outside for ball one. Just missed the spot, a little outside and high.
Want him to chase there. A good pitch by Burner. Outside, definitely just wanted Zerby to play it aggressively and try and get after it. But another good pitch from Burner.
The 1-2 swung on and missed in the dirt for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning, and you can hear the Clearview crowd, the Clearview Pioneers dugout completely on the field right now, and they're getting ready to storm that mound.
Beautiful pitch. We get another look here from Burner. Drops way down in the dirt. Forced Zerby to really go after it. Beautiful pitch.
And another strike delivered to Shillingsford. So the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Zerby just went down swinging. And Derek Shillingsford takes the pitch and is hit in the back. So Shillingsford trying to hype up his team in the dugout, saying we got a base runner on, not the way I wanted to, but base runners and small ball might be the way. And now the tying run is on first.
You needed a base runner on, and now they're going to talk with Burner a little bit. Nothing too crazy, immediately sent it back, but it hit a batter, put a runner on. It's not the best situation for an explosive team in Williamstown. And now if you're Clearview, just have to settle in. Burner, just got to settle in, throw some good pitches. He's gone ahead in every count so far, threw a very nice fastball to Shillingsford to start the at-bat. Just lost a little bit on the off-speed. Gotta like where you're at if you're a Clearview, but can't pay too much attention on that runner on first. Just kind of adds a little bit of nerves if you're a pitcher.
It looks like a pinch runner is going to be put in for Shillingsford. Cage Gargano, the sophomore. 5'10", 165, some speed on the base pads, and a smart decision by head coach Jim Slade to, if there's a double in the gap, maybe trying to score that tying run with the speed on first. Although Kyle Bridges hasn't had the best day, the bunt is fouled.
And wouldn't be shocked to see exactly what they showed there. A little bit of small ball. You can play it here. 1 out, put a runner in scoring position. Isn't a terrible idea with Bridges, who hasn't had a great day at the plate, 0 for 2. 1 out, you can play a little bit here. Play some small ball. Be a little bit down a little gritty way to move some base runners. You put a guy with a lot of speed on the base pads in Gargano. Might look like they're trying to lie some bunts here with Bridges, who himself can get after it too. So a mistake in the infield could lead to a whole lot of danger for Clearview, but that's a tough ask for a team in the Pioneers who haven't had much.
We talked about how Williamstown game isn't really small ball because they're used to scoring so many runs, but in this evening's contest, it's been exactly what they're not used to. So head coach, once again, Jim Slade, is trying something a little bit different, some small ball, maybe from Kyle Bridges, who is 0 for 2 on the day. He squares up to bunt once again. That's going to be down the first base line, and the throw in time. So Bridges does his job. The sacrifice bunt for the second out is going to advance the runner. But now in a situation where there's 2 outs and a runner on second, and Joe Roccabato, who's already hit a double down the third base line, a chance for him to save it.
You're in desperation mode a little bit, and that's what that sacrifice bunt looked like it was. get a runner in scoring position. You haven't had that all day. Need to get someone in a prime situation to score. 1-0. Now 2 outs. You don't have a lot to play with. Roccabaldo at the plate, and now who did have the big double back in the third. So if he can get something here, really ties the game up.
2 outs. Joe Roccabaldo up at the plate, and he takes the first one for ball 1. Very patient on that pitch. Joe Roccabaldo with a chance to save the day. If he can send one over the fences, or the tying run is in scoring position, and that's Cade Gargano over at second. The 1-0 pitch outside for ball 2.
And now you're seeing Varner lose a little bit here. He seems maybe a little frustrated, maybe a little nervy with the runner in scoring position. Throws 2 out of strike zone. Can fight back. We've seen him do that a lot today. Not the best situation for him.
2 balls, no strikes to Roccabaldo. The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. 2 strikes Roccabaldo is left with. A runner on second, with a chance to become sectional finals champions for Group 4. The last chance to do it in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Braves. That pitch is swung on, popped up in the infield. Fowler going back on it. Makes the catch. And it looks like he actually might have dropped it. And a little bit of celebration from Williamstown as it was dropped. And we talked about all afternoon and evening long how good the infield has been for the Clearview Pioneers, and Fowler just losing it in the sky. That's got to be tough for the senior, but the Braves taking advantage.
It's a play that just can't happen. Pop fly in the infield, trail back at it. Should have been the game, and just barely lose it. Hung up forever, and you lose it as an infielder. And yeah, just a tough play landed right in front of him. Ties the ball game up. The Braves are pumped. They're ready to go and kill some confidence. Now you have to talk things over with Boner and talk things over with the infield. It's tough as a team. Now even you're looking for extras, and you haven't been able to get any offense going for either squad. Williamstown can fire themselves up a little bit and look to walk it off. Not in the best situation to do so, but weren't really with it just a couple seconds ago. They look a whole lot more fired up now.
And that is why the decision from head coach Jim Slade means so much, because you have a guy like Cade Gargano on the base pads. He was at second, comes all the way around to score, and ends up tying this ball game up. So a situation where an error most likely going to be scored in E6 on Fowler, who's one of their best players defensively and offensively. Maybe the moment just getting to him a bit, but phenomenal base running by Gargano as well.
And you knew Gargano immediately was taking off. He was taking off on the pitch really there. Had the speed to really chase after it and make it a close play if it needed to be close.
And Bobby DiDonato trying to be the hero in the bottom of the 7th inning, all tied up at 1 apiece. The winning runner is over at first in Joe Roccabaldo. The 1-0 pitch inside.
And now if you're Boner, again, down in another count, it gets a little bit tougher at this point because it's a tie ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Need to just settle in, relax a little bit. I know it's tough, but you have to.
Nice pitch on the inside to fight back. Had DiDonato looking and stuck at it for 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. In a big sectional finals Group 4 game. And coming back on it is Boner. So once again, when he gets down on the count, he's able to fight back. Now even count for DiDonato. A chance to be the hero. The 2-2 pitch up high. And a good eye by DiDonato to lay off.
Smart decision. You knew DiDonato wanted to go after it, and Boner has played some really nice pitches up high to get batters chasing. Could have got out of the inning right there. DiDonato, a smart play.
A full count. The runner will be off on this pitch. 3-2 delivery. Popped up over to right field. Flax out on it, and he makes the catch for the final out. But the Williamstown Braves are able to tie it all up at 1 apiece, so we'll be headed to extra innings in the sectional finals, Group 4, and E6 by Cole Fowler gives the Braves a chance to stay alive. Clearview 1, Williamstown 1. We're headed to the top of the 8th inning on BFA Sports. The sectional finals for Group 4 all tied up, and if you're just tuning in with us, this could not be more exciting. You thought the Clearview Pioneers might have been able to take it, but what's better than extra inning baseball, Gary, especially in the postseason in such a big game?
Huge implication, huge chance here, and now Williamstown back to a situation where, hey, let's go back, try and be explosive, try and play our own brand of baseball, because essentially it's a scoreless game all over again. A big chance here for Williamstown to go back to how they play. Zerby's now back on the mound, working hot. On the opposite side, Boner seems a little caught up. Big chance here from both sides.
McEvoy is going to start off with a leadoff single, and that ball just looked a little bit dead coming through the infield to the outfield. But the good thing for the Pioneers is that they have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up, McEvoy, Fowler, and Costa. Now Fowler scoring or getting the only run in the top of the first inning for the Pioneers, that RBI single that allowed them to go up all until the bottom of the 7th.
And Fowler just moments ago, a tough play, which is why we're in extras. We're in the top of the 8th. He'll get a chance to try and redeem himself, and the infield will come talk things over with Fowler. But a guy you want up at the plate in this situation, one of your better hitters on the year. Today, he's definitely been the reason you're in the ball game, had the RBI single in the first. A guy you need to get going, and a guy you would like to put in a situation like this.
Fowler just kind of has to brush it off. A bigger situation right now if he was able to get something going. He bunts at it and trying to play small ball are the Pioneers, maybe to advance the runner in McEvoy. And a little bit surprised by the decision, and Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fowler is their best hitter, and he already has an RBI. To me, I'm just a little bit surprised on the decision right now for him to try and bunt the runner over.
It just seems like they want to get the one run as quickly as they possibly can. No outs you can play here if you do lay down a sacrifice bunt.
And that bunt thrown to second to get the lead runner is in time. So the sacrifice is not successful, a fielder's choice. Fowler will be safe over at first, and Caden Doolin right there, all smiles, as he was able to help the shortstop in getting that first out, getting the lead runner. So the sacrifice not successful, 1 out and a runner at first.
Very heads-up play to go get the runner at second and not worry about the runner at first, because it wipes away the chance to go for a sacrifice. You're not going to do that here after that. Just tough play for Clearview and a very good play behind the plate for Williamstown. Heads-up fielding, which they needed to happen in extras.
Julian Costa due up, the power hitter for Clearview, has struggled throughout the postseason, just 2 for 9. Swings and misses the 1-1 count.
Hard cut there, and you know where Costa was trying to go. He's tried to get the big power shots a lot today. 2 pop-ups in the outfield in his last 2 at-bats. Tough day for him, and a guy they desperately want to get going.
If you're just tuning in with us, Williamstown tying it up in the bottom of the 7th inning to stay alive on an E6 by Fowler of the Pioneers. Clearview trying to go ahead. The pitch on the outside, but ball 2.
No, Costa thought about chasing after it, wanted to. It hung up a little bit, saw it on the outside, laid off. Good pitch by Zerby to make him think about it, but just a little bit away. And a good eye by Costa.
Fowler over at first. The pitch. And Zerby maybe right now in the heat of the moment. Maybe trying to pitch away a little bit to Costa, as he does have a lot of power, and a home run makes the Pioneers lead by 2. A hit in the gap will most likely score Fowler with the speed over at first. Three-1 the count, with 1 out on the board. It's Costa right now, although likes to chase after the ball, just trying to be patient in this moment to allow his team's hope to stay alive.
And a longer at bat, kind of changing the pace, calling time there behind the plate. Zerby struggling a little bit, later stages, and this at bat we see him struggle a little bit. Needs to settle in and get a big strikeout here.
We talked about it before. This game, before the extra inning started, was only about an hour and 30 minutes. And both of these teams operating very quickly on the mound and in the batter's box as the pitch is delivered and fouled on the first base line. But now, Costa taking his time in the batter's box, and on the other side, Zerby as well, just waiting to get the right signals and deliver the right pitch.
And changing the pace a little bit, especially Costa at the plate. Before, very quick at-bats before him. Now here's a chance him to keep the fight going.
The 3-2 popped up on the infield. Akey going after it, and he drops it in foul territory. So on both sides right now, that ball will be foul, so it will just keep Julian Costa alive. But on both sides, 2 kind of big errors. That's going to be scored as an E5 most likely.
And another play where you just have to make the grab. It has to happen. You put now Costa in a situation where he kind of dodges a bullet, stays alive, and maybe a chance to drive something in.
3 balls, 2 strikes in the top of the 8th inning. The pitch swung on, hit into center, going back on it, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Fowler going to third. The throw is going to be cut off at short. And runners at the corners with 1 out, and Njsiaa Costa is getting the Pioneers faithful excited, and the dugout hyped up for 2 runners on and only 1 out.
Talked about Costa, how good he's been. The team leader in hits, team leader in RBIs. Doesn't quite get an RBI there, but puts Fowler in a great situation to score himself. Top of the 8th, put runners on the corners. Great situation, only 1 out on the board. You could really play here. Costa, a nice piece of hitting, gets it right up the gap. Great piece of hitting from Costa, and now just got to finish things off here.
Anthony Charles due up for the Pioneers. Pitch is fouling out of play. Now, the one good thing for Williamstown in this situation is there is 1 out, so you are in double play territory. The bad thing is that the infield for the Braves has not been great so far throughout this game, already an error. So has to be sharp and careful. Swing and a miss.
Charles can't afford to go after and try and make too much happen. You're down in the count 0-2 now. You have to fight. Don't want to put 2 outs on the board and have the possibility of leaving a runner stranded in a key situation.
Runners at the corners. The 0-2 pitch swung on. Popped up over to left field. Going in on it is Shillingsford, and he's able to make the catch. And runners will not advance. Very shallow left field. So in that situation, if it was a sacrifice fly, maybe able to score the runner and Fowler over at third, but a very shallow fly ball. Not the best situation if you're Anthony Charles.
And Fowler wanted that. Came off the bag once the grab was made. Had a nice jump. There was no chance he would have made it. The throw would have been perfectly in time, well ahead to get the tag. Now you got 2 outs, runners on the corners. If you're the Pioneers, you need to drive something, and you need to get us something big here, because we know how hot the bats can get for Williamstown in such quick order. They're very explosive, can get doubles, triples, home runs, get that extra base hit to keep things going, and possibly walk things off. You don't want that possibility to come up in the bottom half of the inning for your Clearview, especially since you played such a well-rounded game up until the last inning. You had a chance to get out. They tie it up basically on the last chance they could have, and Williamstown, props to them, but Clearview, it's been their game all game long. In extras, you got to make sure you can finish things off.
And for the Clearview Pioneers, it looks like they are going to have a pinch runner for Costa, and that worked very well on the other side for the Braves. Nick Mazzagatti on first for Julian Costa. Fowler over at third, and Jared McKinney at the plate as he takes that one for strike one.
Very nice pitch by Zerby. He's gotten ahead of counts for a majority of the later stages today, and you like to see that if you're Williamstown, if it gets you out of jams like this.
That one hit over the head of the shortstop, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Fowler's going to score. Going to third is Mazzagatti. He's going to go to third. He gets the signal to go home. No throw, and 2 runs will score for the Pioneers as an RBI double for Jared McKinney. He's hyped up. He's ready, and he knows that he gave his team a chance to finish this off in the top of the 8th inning. A beautiful piece of hitting by Jared McKinney.
A great drive here by McKinney. Pitch dropped a little low. Great job to get after it. Got underneath it. Perfect job. Green lights on the base pads all around. 2-runner score. A fantastic job by McKinney, and on the base pads even more. Makes it a 3-1 game. Huge piece of hitting by McKinney. And now Williamstown's going to have to fight back in the bottom half, and they've struggled today. That's a huge hit, the biggest hit of the game, pretty easily. And now Zerby got to get out early. Got to get out now. Down 2.
Corey Lyle due up, swing and a miss, and I was about to say before that at-bat by Jared McKinney, the Pioneers leaving 5 base runners stranded, and 4 of those coming with 2 outs, trying to get the 2-out rally, and McKinney does not allow that as a huge hit in the gap for the Pioneers as the 0-1 pitch. A little bit low, and that's also the advantage of putting a pinch runner on, because Julian Costa, not sure if he'd make it all the way around the base pads on that hit, but Mazzagatti with the speed coming all the way from first to home, a very heads-up decision by head coach.
Also just a very good placement on the hit. It put Mazzagatti in a really good chance where he could go after it. Took a hop back near the fence in left center, and both fielders couldn't really get after it.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed by Corey Lyle, but the Pioneers do their damage as Jared McKinney, a 2-run double, scores 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 runs, and 1 man left. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Braves' last chance to come out on top. Clearview leads 3-1. You're watching on BFA Sports. The sectional finals Group 4, Clearview taking a 3-1 lead thanks to an RBI double by Jared McKinney in their half of the 8th inning. I'm Kayla Santiago alongside my broadcast partner, Gary Erdely. Gary, Derek Boner has been wheeling and dealing all evening long, and he has a chance here to close it out and for his team to become sectional finals champions.
His offense did their job, got the runs they needed, got the offense going, and Boner, that's all he's really asked for.
Caden Dolan grounds the third to throw across the diamond in time for the first out. It'll be Dolan who just grounded out. Montone and Akey due up. So 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Williamstown Braves, the chunk of their offense due up in this inning.
And you see how pumped up the Pioneers are. They're playing with a whole lot of confidence. They have that. They came in as the underdog, fought with them the whole way, and if not for a little fielding mistake, they'd already be sectional champions.
Nobody on, so that pitch just in there for ball one. Throughout this season, to lead you up to this game, the Pioneers faced Williamstown twice, lost 8-2 and 8-3 in those contests. Clearview sitting at third in the Royal Division, and the Braves sitting at first. Big underdogs coming into this game, especially with the first-year head coach Derek Reagan for Clearview. It's the 2-0 pitch inside for strike one.
Boner, we talked about how he goes down in counts pretty early, and a 2-0 pitch right there, guts inside. Now he can fight back a little bit.
That one's in there for strike two, a little bit low, but the umpire liking that strike zone this evening. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Chris Montone with 1 out. The 2-2. Grounded, short, the throw across the diamond. In time to get the out. Fowler making the beautiful play over at shortstop. If you watched the inning before, Fowler having that error E6 that allowed the Braves to score, but right there making up for it once again, the backhand, the beautiful throw across the diamond.
And Fowler, like you just mentioned, had the pop-up go his way, lost it as it hung up forever, dropped down, bobbled with it, and it fell here. Makes up for it for the most part. It makes a great play as we get another look. Boner, the pitch up high, likes to go there and just trying to dig it out. And then we get another look at Fowler. A little bit away, great stretch over at first. They're hyped up, 2 outs on the board. It was a close play, but thought it was clear enough, but very nice play by Fowler over at short. Makes up for it, likes a little bit of heightened drama, I guess. 2 outs and a 3-1 ball game in the bottom of the 8th.
Ryan Akey, the last hope for the Williamstown Braves, as that one is checked, and he went around for strike one. With 1 out to deal with and only 2 strikes left, and this game could be over. Ryan Akey trying to stay in it for his team in the dirt for ball one.
Akey, like we mentioned, middle of the lineup guy, was 4 for 8 coming into today. Today hasn't really been that same 0 for 3. Huge spot for the senior.
The 1-1 pitch, foul. And now down to the last strike and the last out. The Clearview Pioneers on the left side on their bleachers. The dugout getting ready to storm the field if Boner is able to get him down swinging. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch popped up. Going over it on it is Costa in foul territory. He's back on it, and he makes the catch. The Clearview Pioneers are sectional finals champions for Group 4. The underdogs are able to celebrate on their away field. And wow, what a game, what a comeback. The underdogs do it for this evening.
Clearview, a huge win. Group 4 champions. They're hyped. Took a little bit of extra to get it. 3-1 win. Huge win for the Pioneers.
South Jersey Group 4 champions. As you can see, the celebration by the Clearview Pioneer squad, the underdogs, coming into this contest. The first Group 4 for South Jersey champion title for head coach Derek Reagan And you also have to talk about the picture, Derek Bowener, who absolutely wheeled and dealed all evening long.
Bowener was fantastic, giving hugs all around. Everyone on Clearview's side is pumped. They know how big of a win this is. Williamstown, a premier team in all the state of New Jersey, and getting a win in enemy territory on the road. The pretty obvious underdog this season. They get the big win. They get the sectional title. Huge win for the Pioneers. And Bowener, as we see him there, fantastic outing for him. Great job today, and took a little bit more. Eventually got the win, and just an incredible showing from the starting pitcher for the Pioneers.
Bowener holding the trophy. Head coach Derek Reagan, the first one in his first year as head coach, the Williamstown Braves as well. A really good season, but Jared McKinney, who you can see right there, basically getting the winning shot, the RBI double to allow the Clearview Pioneers to come in and win this game. It is the away field, it's the Braves' home field, and the Pioneers just did maybe the impossible. Became South Jersey Group 4 champions with a rookie head coach, where underdogs coming into this game lost twice to the Williamstown Braves throughout the year. Nobody thought they could do it with not even their ace on the mound, but Derek Bowener said today, I am the ace for this team, and he basically got them the win with an absolutely phenomenal night on the mound.
Just needed a little bit of offense to get him out. Very well could have been a 1-0 shutout win for Bowener to prove how great he was today. Needed to go into the eighth, a little bit of extras off a little fielding mistake. However, making up for it later on. Great performance by the Pioneers. A little bit of heightened drama at the end. They win it 3-1, but a great performance, and shows how much confidence they came in today. Great performance, simply all you could say, and that's exactly what they needed against Williamstown. Like we said, top 10 team in the Njsiaa.com polls, one of the best teams in all of South Jersey, one of the best teams in the state of New Jersey, and didn't have it today, and just proves how well the Pioneers played in today's contest.
In a year where you didn't even know if you're going to have a baseball season due to COVID-19, the Clearview Pioneers coming in and beating one of the best teams in South Jersey, the #1 team in their conference in the Williamstown Braves. The Braves having a pretty good season as well. Can't forget about their year when you look back on it. First in the Royal Division, 21-3 overall. A phenomenal year by them, but they were just thrown off their game today, short and simple, weren't able to get the runs, and the Pioneers took over.
Yeah, and we talked about what would have needed to happen for Clearview to take this game. The stars aligned perfectly for them. Low scoring, keep things close, and then just finish things off with good pitching. That's exactly what happened. Story of the game ended up that way, and the Pioneers kept it close. You could argue they should have won this game 1-0. Needed a little bit more. They got the offense when they needed it, and that's really how the stars needed to align, and that's exactly how they did.
And the Gatorade might be a little bit cold this evening, as it's only 60 degrees and was a little bit rainy here earlier on, but I'm sure the Pioneers don't care because they just want a reason to celebrate, and they do have the reason to do so. Jared McKinney getting interviewed out there, got the game-winning double for the Clearview Pioneers. The 2-run double was the end of this game, and he was able to win it for the Pioneers. Clearview, Group 4 South Jersey champions under a first-year head coach, Derek Reagan. Derek Bowener, a phenomenal game on the mound, and of course, you can't forget about the hero, Jared McKinney, getting the 2-run double to end things out. Clearview becomes Group 4 South Jersey champions. They win 3-1. I'm Kayla Santiago for Gary Erdely and the rest of everybody behind the scenes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, Pioneers fan, Brave fans, and simply high school baseball fans, thank you so much for all tuning in. Once again, Clearview, Group 4 South Jersey champions. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Kayla Santiago, and you watch this game on BFA Sports.